The warm weather has finally arrived in New York. And so a couple of weeks ago, I went to go and buy myself a pair of summer shorts. And I left the store feeling completely and utterly invisible. And I think that that's worth having a conversation about. Not necessarily about what transpired in the store, but what I did with it, what it gave me, and what really surprised me. Beautiful people, welcome to the Lulu Essey podcast, where we build mental fitness, self-worth, and self-love from the inside out. These conversations are honest, unedited, and always from the heart. And before we dive into today's conversation, being summer, I know that you're all out there living life, doing what you do during the summer months. So I'm going to be keeping our episodes much shorter and doing my best to make them really count, because the few minutes that you have chosen to spend with me, I really appreciate. It was a Saturday morning. I was feeling tired from the week. Exhausted, actually, and not feeling my best. A little bedraggled is how I looked, and that's by my estimation, no one else's. I walked into Lululemon. I have bought a few items from Lululemon over the years and found them to be worth the investment. And I want to say up front that I acknowledge that there are several controversies surrounding the brand. I'm not here to defend them. I'm not here to agree with them. That's entirely a different conversation. I just want to tell you what unfolded in the store and how it made me feel. The store was buzzing with energy. Everyone looked bronzed, gorgeous. And clearly, I was the oldest person in the store. I asked for help, and I was made to feel like a complete inconvenience. I asked for help a second time, and the same thing happened. And in that moment, I let other people decide whether I was worth being seen or not. I went to the cash register to pay for my purchase, and I told the woman behind the counter about my experience and how horrible it had been. And she just about shrugged me off. She couldn't have cared less, and passed me off by saying, well, I'll tell somebody about it. And I said, well, who are you going to tell? And she said, well, maybe my AM or my store manager. I left it at that. I walked out. But I was overwhelmed with a sense of responsibility towards myself first, and also to all the other women who have these interactions where they're left feeling invisible. And yeah, I was really angry about what happened. So I called the hotline, and the call started by me being told that it was going to be recorded. To which I responded that I was really pleased the call was being recorded, because I hoped that someone who had the power to do something about this interaction would hear the call. Anyway, I gave all the details to the woman, who listened attentively and, to her credit, did not get defensive or try and brush me away. She asked me if she could have someone else from another part of their team call me later that day, to which I said flatly no. And I explained that it had been such a negative experience and I didn't want to carry it into the rest of my Saturday. She then said Do you mind if we call you back in a few days' time? Interesting that she did that. So I said, sure, thinking that by then I'd have some time to just let the experience settle with me. A few days later, another member of the team called me up. This was a mature woman. She was calm. She acted in a way that showed that she cared. She was not reading from a script. And she gave me details that she could have only known had she listened to that recording and really paid attention to the detail. And that mattered to me. And in that moment, we stopped being a customer and a brand. And we were two women trying to figure something out and both acknowledging that we can do better. She ended the call by thanking me and telling me that it's only when people take the time to let them know what their experience has been like in the stores that they are able to do something about it. And I left that experience feeling that what often happens when we have interactions where we feel invisible, especially invisible because of our age, we think it's a life sentence. There's a sense of inevitability, a sense of, well, this is just how it's going to be for the rest of my life as I get older. And I don't feel it has to be that way. Being seen was mine to claim in that moment. Being seen was not a decision or a choice that I gave to someone else. I gave it temporarily, but then I took that choice into my own hands and did what I could. And what I want to leave you with is the people in that store who made me feel invisible were women. There were no male customers in that store at that particular moment, and I didn't see any male assistants. And the woman who allowed me to feel seen was just that, another woman. So it's not about who we are as much as it is about who we choose to be as women. And we can choose to be the kind of woman who sees other women, or we can choose to be the kind of person who makes other women feel invisible. And in the moment where you feel invisible, and I hope that doesn't happen to you, but if it does, you have a choice what you do next. And I don't mean a choice to dump your rage or to fire off an email when you're white hot with anger. And if that does happen, that's also okay. But what can you choose to do with what you have that can potentially make a difference? We can do better for us, ourselves and for each other. What comes from the heart reaches the heart. And today, like every other day, with a deep commitment to make you feel seen, no matter your age, no matter your gender. This comes straight from my heart to yours. And remember You can watch this episode on my YouTube channel, where you'll find a whole lot of other shorts to help you build your mental fitness. Please subscribe while you're there. And wherever you listen to this show, please follow. It makes a big difference to me. Thank you. I'll see you next week.